The date is Monday, February 24. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says that the government is investing approximately $3.5 billion to expand the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine. He said that the objective is to significantly improve capacity in order to meet the growing demand on the public health facility, resulting from the increase in housing construction and development projects to be undertaken in the parish over the coming months and years. He said the project will include, among other things, expansion of the operating theatres and the Accident and Emergency Department. The health minister said the health centre in Old Harbour will also be renovated and transformed into a Type 5 health facility at the cost of approximately $400 million. The Marella Discovery 2 cruise ship docked in Port Royal on Monday for the official reopening of the Fort Charles attraction. This is the second cruise ship to visit the town and by extension Kingston since the start of the year. This all forms part of the Urban Development Corporation's redevelopment plan for downtown Kingston and Port Royal, with major involvement from other state entities including the Port Authority of Jamaica. The introduction of a cruise shipping here represents an achievement of an objective which was first contemplated over 25 years ago. Port Royal joins Montego Bay, Falmouth, Ocho Rios and Port Antonio, and it is anticipated that the new complement of 5 cruise ports of call will further strengthen Jamaica's cruise shipping product and enhance the Cruise Jamaica brand. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is calling on the church to assist in the curbing of rampant violence in society. His comments came as he addressed the Lucy United Church in Hanover on Sunday.
And for those of us who hold on to this book here, the Bible, it gives us great instruction as to how to manage conflict. But there are so many of our young people and our young parents who, though they have the book in their home, they never opened it. Some of them come to church but never listen. We who are gathered here are acquainted with the instruction, but we have a duty to introduce this instruction, to be missionaries of the instruction in our community. And if the church is minded to direct resources, time and energy to spread the instruction, the good instruction which is in this book, the government's work will be much lighter. Because try it as the government might, and if it's trying, it doesn't have the moral authority as does the church to speak to the hearts and minds of individuals. We can pass laws and we can seek to enforce it through force, through penalties, but we really need to appeal to the spirit.
Mr. Holness bemoaned the violence, especially among the nation's youth.
I therefore want to ask the church. Church has such a powerful role to play in the development of our society. Continue to pray for our families, because the decay that we are seeing is really the breakdown of the families. It is the breakdown in parenting. And we are seeing it reflected in the maladjusted behavior of children in school. And that maladjusted behavior continues as they leave school and they get recruited into gangs. But even generally, we see it in how we are resolving conflict. Conflicts are a part of our existence as a people. Everyone inside this church on a daily basis will have some form of conflict with someone. The challenge is, how do we manage conflict?
The Jamaica Constabulary Force will be equipping its members with less lethal weapons such as taser guns. The JCF made the announcement via Twitter on the weekend. In the post, which it underscored by displaying a photo of the police attempting to disarm a man with a knife, says the move is part of its efforts to modernize the force and improve the safety of citizens. There have been consistent calls, including from the Independent Commission of Investigations, for the police to be armed with less lethal weapons to reduce incidents of police fatalities. The Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, will host a sensitization session at the Trelawny Multipurpose Stadium on Tuesday, February 25. Director of Research, Development and Communications at the agency, Felicia Bailey, says the initiative is targeted at residents of the parish and the surrounding areas who want to be involved in the medicinal cannabis industry. The session will be held from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the President's Box. The day's activities will include presentations by CLA representatives, followed by a question and answer segment. The CLA personnel will also assist persons to complete application forms that will be available at the event. State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Floyd Green, was on hand at the recent handing over ceremony of MONEYMUSK land leases to former sugarcane workers in Hermitage, Clarendon. State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Floyd Green, says the government has taken a multi-pronged approach to ensure the security of the sugar industry and the workers affected by relative issues being faced within it.
In 2017, we started by providing $70 million for the transportation of 50,000 tons of sugarcane to factories in Long Pond and Worthy Park in St. Catherine. We recognized that we needed to continue that support because cane is still in the field and you still have people who depend on sugar. So we didn't only talk about it. In the 2018 to 2019 budget, we provided $200 million to truck sugar from the MONEYMUSK area to Appleton and Worthy Park. Again, we have provided another $200 million. As you look around, as you see some of the fields have been reaped and the cane has been trucked and is being trucked to Appleton and Worthy Park.
The state minister says the government is also looking at direct cash assistance, but the goal is aiding their financial independence. This land leasing program is one such approach.
Because what we realize, yes, some people have been in sugar for a long time. But you also, Mr. Fulton, have people who've developed other skills. They're in sugar, but yes, they're barbers. Yes, they can weave here. And as they look how they transition, we recognize that what they needed was training and certification. So we put $45 million to work with the Heart Trust NTA for them to develop other things. We have training in crop production, we have training in barbering, we have training in entrepreneurship, agribusiness, and that training comes completely free.
The ceremony marks the first phase of a production program being offered to support the former MONEYMUSK factory workers in identifying and establishing an alternative source of livelihood. Under this program, SCJ Holdings Limited will lease a minimum of 4 hectares of farmland to former MONEYMUSK sugar factory workers. February is recognized as Heart Month, and 1 in 3 Jamaicans is hypertensive, and current data suggests that this number is increasing. Consultant cardiologist at the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, the University Hospital of the West Indies as well, Dr. Handel Emery, says this is a cause for great concern.
Hypertension, as we know, is a sustained elevation in the blood pressures, with an average blood pressure in excess of 140/90. And this is important to us, particularly in our context, because current data suggests that the prevalence of hypertension in our population is actually quite high. It's about 33%. So what that means, about 1 in 3 persons, 1 in 3 Jamaicans is actually hypertensive. What is also alarming is that the prevalence seems to be increasing. So on the basis of a number of surveys which have been done in the past, roughly 10 years apart, we've seen where the prevalence has increased, or the frequency of the condition in the population has increased from about 25-26% to about 1 in 3 currently. So this is of grave concern to us, and this is so because we know about the impact of hypertension on morbidity morbidity, meaning illness, as well as mortality.
Dr. Emery says that hypertension is a treatable and preventable condition.
We have very effective means of screening for hypertension. There are specific guidelines in terms of how frequently patients should be screened. And very importantly, in our context, we have excellent options in terms of therapies. There are about 7 classes of antihypertensive medications which are currently available. Just about all of them are available locally, and generics exist for most of them, which means that they are also relatively affordable for most of our patients. So in our setting, and given the resources that we have at our disposal, there's really very few legitimate reasons for patients to A, not know that they're hypertensive, and B, for them not to be adequately treated for hypertension. I do want to say as well too that these days we recognize that treating hypertension is not just a matter of popping pills. There is a lifestyle which accompanies, or which is a central component of the therapy of hypertension.
Dr. Emery was speaking at a recent JIS think tank session. National Housing Trust Executive Norris Rainford died on Sunday morning after he collapsed while participating in a 5K road race in Westmoreland. Reports by the police are that shortly after 8 a.m., Rainford, the operations manager for Hanover and Westmoreland, and other participants were taking part in the annual event when he suddenly fell and became unconscious. He was rushed to the Savannah Lamar Hospital where he died while being treated. Rainford had reportedly participated in previous editions of the annual event. The hunt is on to identify a candidate to replace incumbent Senior Deputy Governor John Robinson of the Bank of Jamaica, who is slated to demit the position shortly. Speaking during the bank's quarterly media briefing at the BOJ in downtown Kingston, Governor Richard Biles said applications have been invited to fill the post. This has been done through, among other things, newspaper ads published over the past several weeks. Biles advised that the bank has a structured evaluation process overseen by a special committee which will be used to make the final selection. Bishop Dr. Purcell Jackson will be the People's National Party's candidate in the constituency of Portland East in the upcoming general election. He made the announcement at the party's regional executive council meeting in St. Andrew. Reverend Jackson will be replacing Damien Crawford, who lost to Anne-Marie Vaz in a by-election for the seat last year. Bishop Jackson serves as a member of the Jamaica Association Full Gospel Churches and is an executive of the Eastern Fraternal of Pastors in Kingston. In regional news, Guyana's Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu last Thursday said he recently met with Russian ambassador to Guyana, Alexander Kormaz, about the ongoing dispute with workers and the local subsidiary of Russian aluminum giant Rusal. The Prime Minister said the government is very concerned about the welfare of the fired 326 workers from the company last month.
While the meeting we spent most of the time talking about what happened there, from the point of view of the government of Guyana, we are very concerned about the plight of the bauxite workers, 326 workers who have been terminated, and of course their families. I wanted also to tell the Russian ambassador that Guyana and Russia maintain good relationship, and in spite of what activity has taken place or continues to take place as an industrial matter, this relationship has not changed. And I wanted, in the spirit of this relationship, to put to the ambassador of the Russian Federation that we are very concerned about the welfare of the workers, the security of the workers and their families. And also that we wanted to know very clearly whether Rusal has ended its operation in Guyana. His response was, he showed me something written in Russian and in English, that Rusal has suspended its operation, as distinct from withdrawing and terminating its business in Guyana. So that from what he said, although he saying, but this is a private company, I can't speak for the company, you get the message very clearly that they are not pulling out. They may appear to do so, but from their official statement that they've made in Moscow, that they are not pulling out from Guyana. So we will continue to explore all avenues to have this matter discussed, have the issue of the severance pay settled, have the issue, other issues that may arise to the satisfaction of the workers.
In sports, Reggae Boys defender Kemar Lawrence says his long-awaited move into Europe is yet another indication that Jamaican players have the stuff to compete at the highest professional level. His last-minute move in a fast-closing transfer window last month to Belgian top-flight club RSC puts another Jamaican international in the massive marketplace of European club football. Lawrence, who transferred from Major League Soccer's New York Red Bulls on a 2.5-year deal, joined boys' teammate Charleroi FC striker and Shamar Nicholson in Belgium. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thank you so much for watching.